trummid ka, kas te olete valmis? Minu käe järgi siis ja lähme!
Vienmēr kaut kas notiek, vienmēr interesants lietas notiek, bet jā, tās daudz. Minimālais svars ir arī attiecīgi mēs sveram ieročus, mēs visi ieroči tiek svērt un ieroči izvērtāts vai ieroči
Räägi, Alvar, sinu tunded ja sellised, kuidas sulle see Boris segateate sõit meeldib, mis nüüd mõne minuti pärast peagi algamas?
Ei kahtlemata on minu ajalugu näidanud, et esiteks juhtub siin väga palju üllatusi. Inimesed, kes on tribüünidel, inimesed, kes on raja ääres, näevad oma lemmikuid kogu aeg enda ees. Me näeme palju laskmisi, me näeme palju suusatamist, nii et sellisel väikselisel päeval otse loomulikult on see imeline. Nii et teistpidi kahtlemata ka kõige selline keerulisem formaat, mida laskesuusatamine meile saab pakkuda. Nii et paaris segateate sõidus esindavad siis võistkondi üks mees, üks naine, läbitakse 1,5 kilomeetri pikkuse ringe, kokku teevad sportlased 8 korral circa poole tunni jooksul lasketiirus. Kui 5 lasuga märke maha ei saa, on alati kasutada ka 3 varupadronit ja kui ka 8 lasuga märgid alla ei tule, tuleb minna trahvi ringile, mille pikkus täna 75 meetrit.
Well, a very warm welcome back to the Ted Vandy Sports Centre for the single mixed relay on the last day of competition here in Otepää. Well, the weather is warm once again, and the athletes have been preparing for what will be a fast, action-packed race. Now let's take a look at the course. Each athlete will be conducting this at least 4 times, 1.5 kilometers the loop. The incline's incredibly steep, and of course this 1.5k does include the very steepest climb that we've seen in every race so far throughout this competition. Just take a look at how bare the landscape is. 10 degrees, the snow temperature. After having hosted the World Cup here, and on that occasion there was almost too much snow. It had to be cleared to make way, and now we see very contrasting images. But nevertheless, the Estonians putting on a fantastic show. The supporters demonstrating how much love there is for biathlon here in Estonia as we get prepared for the World Championships, which of course in 2027 come to Otepää. Let's look at the teams now. Sturla Humlegreid looking for another win. He'll be paired up with Knotten of Norway. Jacquelin for France goes with Benet. Seppälä and Minkinen for Finland. That's a strong team, one to look out for. Samuelsson and Hanna Öberg for Sweden. And Hartveg, who's normally paired up with Beserga, has Meyer on his team today, I should say. And the duo of Eder and Hauser once again united for this race, neither of whom are on top skiing form. But you have to scroll right down to see where Germany is. They wear bib 13. Strelo and Voigt almost appearing as underdogs today. And Latvia with an interesting team. Of course, Blidela, the 21-year-old who's just come from the Youth Junior World Championships, conditions much worse than we have here. As we look at Strelo for Germany alongside Lucas Hofer. That beautiful 20 out of 20 in Kontiolahti last week. And of course, we have for Estonia, Keva taking out leg one. And the fans will be going absolutely wild for the Estonians today. For every shot hit, a sigh for a miss. Simon Eder of Austria, we know him very well. He's been around and promising fun things as always. 559 races to Eder's name. Hartveg, he really is a master in these disciplines, but Sebastian Samuelsson, he fought hard yesterday for a podium, but wasn't able to get inside Campbell Wright's time, just finishing in 5th. What a battle that was in the final lap. So Sebastian Samuelsson hungry for a podium, no doubt. Tero Seppälä really thrives in these shorter bouts, able to stay composed in the shooting range. Emilien Jacquelin, quite the same when his form is there. We saw him miss 3 in the pursuit in the final visit. That was a complete nightmare, at least he thought, but still came away with the second. Now, Sturla Holmlagride, the machine, the legend, record breaker, Olympic medalist times loads. This man appears to be unstoppable. Win after win. 4 wins in a row, including relays. Can he make it 5 today? Well, he's alongside Knotten, and Knotten is in great shape in the sprint, finishing 6th. But dropping to 15th in the individual, and of course, precarious wind conditions making it a challenge. But now, moments away from the start, the athletes calming the nerves. Jacquelin apparently without any. They are underway now for the single mixed relay. The men will take them out, and then the women to follow. They will each take 2 legs. The women with 1 final lap at the end, making it a total of 7.5 kilometers for the women and 6 for the men. But look at the bunching up there as the athletes hit the dirty snow. And that really posing a challenge throughout this race, particularly for those at the back and for Germany and Italy, who are somewhere in the middle, having the challenge of trying to get by, trying to stay with the hot pace at the front, whilst also trying to stay out of trouble and keep the poles intact. And that pace really was calm at the front. Emilien Jacquelin doing the opposite to what we see so often from him at the Olympic Winter Games, of course, going wildly fast out the gates and then paying the price for that later on. A tactic which appears to be very compatible with his nature. Seppälä now at the front on the steepest part of the course, with Emilien Jacquelin closest to our screen, and Simon Eder tucked in right behind the Frenchman, and really demonstrating his experience, able to get so close to the poles without tripping up or clattering into Emilian Jacquelin's equipment. That's the kind of experience that 559 World Cup races will give you. Simon Eder, the most experienced among them to date. Well, as if over in a flash, we got a fall. And who was that crashing out on the corner there? Not a good place to go down, momentum lost. Of course, these salted tracks having icy patches, and then there's slushy patches. And there is danger. And we'll take a look at exactly who has gone down and how much time it has cost them. As we can see, Tero Seppälä still imposing his authority at the front. And now whoever it was, it doesn't seem to have had such a great impact. Straight back up, straight back on the heels of their competitors, but unclear, and I do apologize if you have seen. I wasn't quick enough to spot the athlete who went down. I did think it was Strelo of Germany. He's in 19th, started 13th. That would be the most likely projection. Well, now they will come into the range for the first time for prone shooting. They have 3 spare rounds for every visit. Once they've conducted prone, they'll do the same lap again, then into shoot stand before the exchange. And here they are, all bunched together. Seppälä leading the way alongside Sturla Holm Lagride. As the coaches watch on, their job is done. Well, Germany shooting very quickly, but already with 1 miss. Slower is France, Finland, Norway, but going accurate. Switzerland now a miss on the 4th. Austria 5 for 5 is alongside Slovenia. Well, look at that. A strong display of experience. Now with the leading 2, Fak and Eder, coming out of shoot number 1. Both of whom have over 400 starts on the World Cup. Lovely to see. But trouble for Germany. They will go around the penalty loop. Slovakia will join them alongside Latvia. Sebastian Samuelson in touch. No spares required. Runnels of Canada the same. Fomin of Lithuania the same. Now there, Strelo comes off the 75-meter penalty loop. It's only a brief loop, as we see Jack Jeffries of Great Britain now coming out, having used all of his spares, but didn't have a penalty loop to conduct. Well, let's take a look now at the front. The pace is heating up. Sturla Holm Lagride is absolutely powering up this steep incline now, with Emilian Jacquelin very much connected. Jakob Fak dropping off the pace. Simon Eder paying the price for his early speed, now struggling to keep on. Sturla Holm Lagride has absolutely demolished the field now on this second lap. He feels confident in the shooting range, and no wonder he feels confident. Since the 17th of January, the sprint and Ruhpolding, he has fired 170 shots in the individuals, not counting relays. And in those 170 shots, this man, Sturla Holm Lagride, has only missed 6. That is 164 hits out of 170. Absolutely remarkable. Most missed more than that in one single race yesterday in the pursuit with all that wind. Well, now the second chasing group all bunched together. Now Zashev of Bulgaria is at the helm of the third chasing group. We can see Seppala, one of the favourites, only having used 2 spares, already finds himself 30 seconds down off the pace, with Strelo struggling for Germany. He's been around the penalty loop once. He may very well have taken a tumble. And now the leading 3 coming in for the second shoot. Sturla Holmla Gride, unsurprisingly, at the front of that trio. Sebastian Samuelsson is at the back with Jacquelin sandwiched between. So now they come in to shoot Stan. Samuelsson, 80% hit rate. Legride, 89, and Jacquelin, 76. Will it be rapid fire from the Frenchman? Well, Legride, the first to have a miss. Now each one has 1 apiece. An opportunity for Fact to make a comeback. Jacquelin with 2. It was composed shooting, but look at the challenge these athletes face now with these wind conditions. Such control. And Sebastian Samuelsson, the first to clear all 5 targets. Czechia, they were close to going next, but missing the last shot. Can Jacquelin, 1 spare remaining, 1 target remaining. He gets it. Jacquelin gets all 5 down. The exchange now as Öberg is on the tracks. Sweden handing over in first. Lithuania, one of the next nations to get 5, as France hand over in second place. 12.4 off the lead, as Fak of Slovenia hands over in third. Trouble for Germany, another penalty loop. Strelo is in trouble. Lithuania doing well in 4th. Canada, excellent performance from Runals there in 5th. And Czechia down in 6th. Would you believe it? Norway in 7th. Sturla Holmla Gride not with the best start, but of course we can expect him to come back strong as he so often does. Well, there are your home favourites. As Estonia get underway, they'll be excited for the World Championships, which will be hosted here next year. Certainly hoping for better weather conditions. Now Camille Benet is on course. A sharp shooter, not necessarily selected for this race on ski speed alone. And there is Knotten of Norway just leading the way ahead of Czechia, with Italy. Elisa Vitozzi chasing them down. Hanna Öberg now for Sweden at the front. And with a healthy lead of 12.4 seconds at the exchange, you can see what that lead amounts to now. They're second, coming around the corner with Camille Benet. Benet now 21.8 seconds back, losing a lot of time to the Swede. Klemencic, 28.4 seconds back. That's gone all the way from 16 to 28.4. A significant time lost. Hanna Öberg clearly in good shape. And now Knotten of Norway, 6th, having been exchanged in 7th. finds herself losing 9 seconds to Hanna Öberg. Trabeite of Lithuania, 35.8 down, so again, losing 11.6. Vitozzi, 43 seconds off the pace. Well, a second and a first. Lisa Vitozzi really having a fantastic innings here in Otepää. Enjoying the conditions and enjoying the atmosphere. 14,000 people coming to watch this race as Minkkinen struggles to cling on. Finland very much down on where they had been dubbed to be, wearing bib 3, projected for a potential podium today, but still nevertheless doing better than Germany, who's down in 21st, as Hanna Öberg now comes in for her first shoot, the third of 8 shoots for Sweden today. You can expect fast shooting from Hanna Öberg. She's made an adjustment to her sights. .20-kilometer gusts of wind do not disturb Hanna Öberg. 5 out of 5, a lovely start. Sweden now positioning themselves as a major threat for the win today, as Benet now settles down. She's got company: Canada, Slovenia, Italy, Norway, Czechia, Lithuania, all on the mat as Benet goes 5 for 5, no spares needed. Oh, excellent. Slovenia are next to come up, with Italy right behind them. And Canada will be on the loop at least once. One disadvantage for the Canadians, zeroing further down the range, finding themselves so close to the wall that does impact the fall of the shot. Their zero is completely different at this end of the range. And if they do not account, if Rousseau does not account for that, then this final shot likely to be a struggle too. 3 penalties now for Canada. Finland are clear, Croatia the same. Switzerland will join them with hitting all the targets without the use of a single spare. Well, Hanna Öberg has managed to ski extremely fast, but not as fast as Lisa Vitozzi on that first loop. Anderson of USA with the second fastest ski time. But let's take a look at the fall of the shots now. Well, it's very central. Very central indeed. And in an unconventionally slow time of 29.5 seconds, it's not too shocking to see Hanna Öberg managed to get the shots down in around about 20 seconds. Well, there is Vitozzi, the fastest skier on leg 1, or excuse me, lap 1 of leg 2. The Italian in fantastic form. This steep hill here not having an impact on her performance. 32.3 seconds down, and at the end, or the entry to the shooting range, it was 39.1. She closed 7 seconds or thereabouts to Hanna Öberg, who now is the lead at the 5.4 kilometer mark. She closed that time by 7 seconds. Benet now, 29.3 seconds back. Once again, she loses time, and Vitozzi is managing to close the gap on the French woman. Klemencic now 40 seconds back, 4th place. Slovenia having a fantastic race. Knotten 41 seconds behind, so now just 5th place for the Norwegians. Only a short way back to Poland, Austria, Czechia, and then finally Myrkushina of Ukraine. Poland doing fantastically well. They've been around the penalty loop twice. That's 2 times 75 meters of penalty, and they are only 58 seconds back. So aside from one visit to the range going terribly wrong, there's only been one spare round used on the other 2 visits for Poland. De Besch of Denmark, youth gold medalist at the Youth Junior World Championships some years ago for Norway, now competing for Denmark. Hanna Öberg now in for shoot 4 of 8 for Sweden. And she has a significant lead and is using that buffer time wisely. That was a lucky edge shot. Big miss. Another big miss. Well, you can see just how unstable it is for Hanna Öberg, an absolute master behind the rifle, struggling with these windy conditions. They train for the wind. They know how to approach these targets. And now 2 spares remaining for Hanna Öberg and 2 targets remaining. There's a penalty loop for Öberg, 75 meters. Vitozzi with 2 misses. And Hanna Öberg keeps it to just 1 penalty loop. France now onto their spares. 1 remaining, 1 target still standing as Knotten of Norway gets all 5 down with 6 bullets. Slovenia go out, they've got all 5, while France find themselves on the 75-meter penalty loop. Vitozzi will join her on the loop as Poland managed to get all the targets down with 6 rounds. Excellent shooting. Poland really positioning themselves well today. Norway in first at the second exchange. Sweden in second. Slovenia doing fantastic. Now in third with Fak on the tracks. And Czechia in fourth. Poland now in fifth with France just a second and a half behind them in sixth. And Italy 26 seconds down on the lead. They find themselves in 7th position. Austria now in 8th and Moldova in 9th. As we see, Estonia are now on the penalty loop. Finland, having made the exchange, they find themselves down in 10th place. Now steadily climbing back up. But that looks like a formidable pace by Sturla Holmla. Jakob Fak is doing all he can to try and stay with it. But of course, anybody would rightly struggle. Sebastian Samuelsson, unperturbed by the speed on the hill from Sturla Holmla. He stayed on the heels of the Norwegian. Perhaps still wounded by the fact that he wasn't able to stay with Oldal in yesterday's pursuit. Sturla Holmla of Norway now with the lead at the 6.9 kilometer mark. Samuelsson of Sweden in second and Fak of Slovenia in third. Jacquelin now 12.8 seconds down. At the exchange, that was 19.9. So Jacquelin absolutely flying. He only has one more time up that steep hill. And then he will do the exchange after his stand shoot. The men, of course, doing 4 laps. The women doing 5. 6 kilometer for the men, 7.5 for the women. Hofer, 7th, 27.3 seconds back. Losing 1.3 seconds since the exchange. Seppala still in 10th place, 43 seconds behind. Well, exceptional shooting from Seppälä and Minkkinen, can see them climb again. They're capable of it. But perhaps the lead is stretching just too far away, and the lead is held by none other than Sturla Holm Lagride as they come into the shooting range now for the 5th out of 8 visits. And the second to last time for the men. They will settle down in prone. And look at the accuracy there. Lagride, 97% hit rate in prone. The wind did not disturb him in the pursuit, but causing him trouble today. Sebastian Samuelsson now with 2 misses. Lagride does the same. Fack struggling, but Emilien Jacquelin is rattling through the targets, apparently with ease. Look at that. Absolutely astonishing shooting there from the Frenchman. He goes 5 for 5. And he has Gunka of Poland on the chase. Would you believe it? Poland having an absolutely fantastic race today. Samuelsson avoiding the penalty loop as Fack finds himself on it at least twice. And Lagride in second place, Gunka in third. Samuelsson for Sweden in fourth. Well, Simon Eder doing very well, but missing the fourth, as Fack will go round the penalty loop 225 meters worth. That's 3 laps. Finland are out now. 1 spare required, the same as Austria's Eder. Romania, 5 out of 5, no spares in that terrible wind. Absolutely fantastic shooting. Astrello of Germany is doing what he can to climb up the order. It's been a terrible race so far for the Germans. Well, look at your leader now. He was flying on the first lap of the 3rd leg. Lagride really attacking to try and close the space. They can afford to attack here. Lots of recovery. But look at the labored Sebastian Samuelsson struggling to hang on in there with Lagride. That's 6.5 seconds that Samuelsson was down on the Norwegian. Looks to be opening up by the meter. Gunka of Poland was in ahead of Samuelsson in 3rd place. Now take a look at the gap, down to 4.2 seconds. Jacquelin still with a lead, but Lagride closing the gap. Gunka 12.6 seconds back, Samuelsson 14 seconds back, and I said close the gap. I was wrong. Lagride was 3.2 seconds back after shoot 5. That's opened up to 4.2. So Jacquelin is finding a new lease of life. He had the fastest lap time by 5.7 seconds ahead of Samuelsson on the 5th lap. Jacquelin shooting all 5 targets down in wind like that in 24.6 seconds. But now here is a scenario which so often Jacquelin struggles with. Does he go in and shoot with total audacity? Does he just release the impulsivity, or does he fight for every single shot, as Sturla Holm Lagride claimed to have done in the pursuit competition? Now the 2 leaders are connected, coming into the range for the last time for the men. Shoot 6 of 8 for Norway and France. France in the lead, Norway in second. And the wind, 12, 14, 16 kilometers an hour. Will they get the shot away at the exact same time? One miss apiece until the third shot. Now Jacquelin will be on the loop at least once. And it's looking very good for Lagride. Oh, look at that. Absolutely rapid loading of the spares. And now Norway are out in the lead. At least 2 penalty loops now for Jacquelin. Make that 3. He's loading up another spare. That's confusing. I'm not convinced he had another spare to fire. Now Norway are out with the lead. And Jacquelin going around the penalty loop. The graphics claiming that he had already exhausted all of his spare rounds. He loaded another. Did he eject it before firing? Well, that remains to be seen. A notification to come. Samuelson now out. Czechia, 2 penalty loops. And now Sweden in second, 34.5 seconds back. Emilien Jacquelin handing over for France to Benet, now 36.9 back in third. And there are more misses than hits on the targets for the remaining athletes on the range. Poland having an absolutely phenomenal race. They are in fourth. And Finland now a return to form. This is what we expected from Finland. Czechia next to exchange in 5th place. And now Seppala is going to hand over to Minkinen in 6th. 1 minute and 19.8 seconds down off the leaders. Well, Hannah Öberg has the lead, but she also has Camille Benet right behind her. Hannah Öberg was the 2nd fastest skier on leg 2. Camille Benet, 19.4 seconds down in total. But now, what appears to be an adjusted time for France. There's an asterisk by the name, and potentially that is a disqualification. Well, it remains to be clarified exactly what that asterisk means beside the name of France. And as soon as that is clarified, I will explain that to you. But it did appear as though Jacquelin loaded an extra round. But back to the front of the race now. We have Knotten in the lead. Hannah Öberg, 31.5 seconds down in second. France, physically now in third, 42.6 seconds back. And Poland having such a wonderful race. This is really fantastic to see. Finding themselves in 4th place, still within a minute of the leaders. Maka for Poland, doing a wonderful job. She's come off the back of 2 races, neither of which were inside the top 30. And yet here she finds herself fighting, potentially, for a podium with Gunka. And certainly, if there is an issue with the French team, then Poland could find themselves currently in 3rd. Knotten now, your leader, coming into the shooting range for the 2nd last time today. As Great Britain, narrowly avoiding being lapped and removed, escape the range. Here's Knotten. Excellent central shooting. Flawless. Look at that. total control now from Knotten. That's everything the Norwegians could have wanted. No spares needed, no trouble, no drama, and pure accuracy despite these terrible wind conditions. Now, Hanna Öberg in second, with Poland in third. France have been disqualified. Well, France still on the map, despite the fact they're not appearing on the graphics on the data center, as Sweden now get up and off the mat on the chase, still with a chance of doing damage to Norway's lead. Benet getting all 5 targets down. She may very well be none the wiser about what is going on, as Poland now still maintaining their touch with the podium. Macken now has 2 spares remaining for 2 targets. As Czechia now with Vabornikova getting through those targets now, first with a miss as Minkinen does the same, missing the 3rd and now the 4th. So Poland on the loop, 75 meters as Czechia get all 5 targets. Now, will that be Czechia getting into 3rd? Well, Minkinen with a chance now to still be in contention for that 3rd spot, as Germany find themselves now with Voigt fighting to be in contention for a top spot. Look at that lovely shooting. Germany, a return to form. Finland, a return to form. And Italy, now way up the graphics in the middle. They get all 5 with 6 rounds. So the big nations floating to the top. Now we've got Norway in the lead with Sweden in second. Czechia with Vabornikova in third. Minkinen for Finland in fourth. Maka for Poland in fifth. Voigt for Germany in sixth. And of course, none other than Vitozzi for Italy in seventh. Norway, the only team to have avoided the penalty loop thus far. And here is Knotten, the athlete who is fighting now to bring it home for Norway. She has the wind to contend with, but wind is only half the battle. The mind can cause so much more trouble for these biathletes than any wind can. In high pressure scenarios, of course. And now Hanna Öberg in second place. Well, if I was Knotten, I would not want to be chased by Hanna Öberg. She shoots fast, she skis fast. Hanna Öberg 8 seconds off the pace behind Anderson of USA, who's skiing like a rocket around this course, faster than Vitozzi. But perhaps Hanna Öberg opting to pace sensibly. And as you can see, France has absolutely been disqualified and removed from the race. Emilien Jacquelin got in a fluster. He used more rounds than he ought to have. And now we've had a disqualification from Germany in Novo Mesto, and now France here today. Well, third place seems to be an age behind, an unfamiliar reality in a race like this, but the wind really reaping havoc to the shooting on the range. Vabornikova, she comes through now, 1 minute and 35 seconds back. The Olympic bronze medalist in the mass start knows how to handle head-to-head bouts. But now, in the shooting range, for the very last time today, Norway with a lead of over 40 seconds. Caroline Ofigstad Knotten with all eyes on her. Such control. Can she maintain it? Yes, she can. Look at that. Absolutely phenomenal. How did she do that in wind conditions like these? What a brilliant display getting all 10 targets down, no spares. In these horrible wind conditions, Knotten can take a bow. And wow, Sturla Holm-Lagride was lucky to have Knotten on his team today. Hannah Öberg fighting now for second at best. The win is gone, but she will very soon have company if she struggles to get these rounds down. Look at the movement on that rifle. Big gusts of wind. 23 kilometers an hour, the highest I saw it. And now there's a 1 penalty loop for Hannah Öberg. Does it matter? Well, that remains to be seen. If there's a second, there'll be trouble. So much movement. Wow, the wind really stepped it up there as Verbornikova is now fighting to contend against Hannah Öberg, who has just 150 meters worth of skiing to do. So that requires Verbornikova to go clear 5 for 5, rapid style, if she wants to compete for second. Well, of course, Minkkinen in an equal situation and perhaps can be the one to do it. It's 3 for 3 for Minkkinen. It's 4 for 4. Oh, she misses the last shot. Minkkinen had a chance, but it's going to go away. She gets it with a spare. Minkkinen, an absolute class act, goes 5 with 6 and is now hunting down the Swede on the skis, but that gap is huge. Öberg now for Sweden in second, behind Norway in first. And Minkkinen of Finland down in third. There are penalty loops coming from every direction, but not from Germany. 4 for USA, perhaps too quick on the skis for Anderson. Merkushina shooting fast. But now, the fourth team is Germany, with Voigt and Maka of Poland has company. She's in fifth, but Slovenia on the chase. Well, what a turnaround, as now Hannah Öberg is fighting to defend for second. Let's take a look now at the ski speeds. Well, Hannah Öberg 8 seconds off the pace, with Minkkinen right behind her 11.9 seconds back. So skiing 4 seconds slower on the last lap. So Hannah Öberg has the edge, but perhaps skied a little too fast maybe on that last lap, and therefore maybe contending with fatigue, whereas Minkkinen might have paced it better. That all remains to be seen. But Minkkinen is absolutely not giving up on second, and Hannah Öberg is absolutely refusing to allow that gap to close. The foreshortening of the lens made it appear as though Minkkinen was closer than she was. That is a big gap, and surely now an untouchable gap as Hannah Öberg rounds the dangerous corner which brought down one of the men on the first lap. Knotten of Norway has done it all. She conducted an absolutely masterful shoot, both in prone and stand, on the final leg of the single mixed relay. She was teamed up with the legend Sturla Holm-Lagride, but it turns out that she was the trump card for Norway today, and it's smiles all round as Norway cross the line with the win. And what a race! What a display of skill behind the rifle from Knotten. And Sturla Holm-Lagride finds himself on the top of the podium once again. Enough time for an applause dedicated just to them. Well, now we turn our attention to Sweden, who has managed to maintain their gap. Hannah Öberg has not been closed in on by Minkinen, despite Minkinen's best efforts. Sweden have been around the penalty loop 3 times today. They have used 13 spare rounds. And now it will be second for Sweden. Sebastian Samuelsson and Hanna Öberg, a formidable duo, have second place for Sweden. What a fantastic day for them as they come in the last 100 meters. Hanna Öberg has enough time to look over her shoulder, and it will be second for Sweden. Suvi Minkinen, what a performance from her. Third place goes to Finland. A roller coaster of a race for the Finns. Seppälä and Minkinen, a team that has stood the test of time, now come across the finish line with third. Voigt now for Germany coming through. The Germans have been down at the back of the field but now find themselves in fourth. And Poland, what a result from them. Fifth place for Poland, sixth for Italy, and seventh for Czechia. Slovenia find themselves in eighth. A battle on the skis between Poland, Italy, Czechia, and Slovenia, and won in a brilliant display of form from Maka, who despite 5 penalty loops and 11 spare rounds, the Poles managing to get into 5th place. What a day for them. Ukraine with 9th. Switzerland now with 10th. And the last of the teams to have come through unscathed without being looped. We have, of course, Moldova in 11th, United States in 12th, and Lithuania in 13th. You can hear now the decibels increase as the crowd go wild for the Estonian team. They come through now in 14th. Taliharm, the one to take them over the line. Only 1 penalty loop for the Estonians, 19 spare rounds. They really did have a good day on the range, perhaps used to the conditions here. As Hauser crosses in a very disappointing 15th for the Austrians. 15 spares used, off the pace on the skis, slow on the range. Denmark, they did not go around the penalty loop today. The second team to have done so. Norway, the first, and Romania also have managed to avoid the loop, finishing in 17th, 4 minutes and 11 seconds back. Tomasheva, the athlete to bring them through. And well, France nowhere to be seen, of course, withdrawn from the race. We saw them continue the shoot with Camille Benet, still none the wiser as to what happened. Canada there coming through in 18th. And Bulgaria coming through with Dimitrova taking the Bulgarians across the line in 19th. Kapustova now for Slovakia in 20th. The lap teams consist of Kazakhstan, Latvia, Belgium, Croatia, and Great Britain, all of whom were withdrawn from the competition. There is your overall leaderboard. Norway take the win, Sweden takes second, and Finland take third. How eventful. Well, I think with Sturla Holmgren on your team, you would have expected Norway to take the win. But it turned out that the dynamic was not all on Sturla Holmgren. It really did fall to Knotten. She was the master of that fantastic win today for Norway. Sturla Holm Lagride did struggle behind the rifle, using a significant number of spares. At the second exchange, Knotten had only used one spare, so now of the 20 shots today, Knotten hitting 19 out of 20. That is absolutely amazing. 19 out of 20 in a relay environment with windy conditions like those, when we saw many teams end up on the penalty loop many times. Total composure from this woman here, Caroline Ofigstad Knotten, the standout performer of the day. Anna Oberg did the very best she could. Her teammate Sebastian Samuelson equally performing well, but a comeback story for Finland. There was a time where Finland were in 18th place at the first exchange, and they steadily climbed and climbed and climbed. At the second exchange, Finland found themselves in 9th, climbing 9 spaces in Minkinen's leg, and then Seppala climbed them higher all the way to 5th by the third exchange, and then Minkinen to 3rd. Well, Germany had an even more dramatic story. They found themselves down all the way in 22nd. We don't know what happened to Strelo, and I do think it was him who fell. I'm sure there's people screaming at the screen right now saying it wasn't him, but my quick glance at the screen as it happened, it looked as though the dark suit of Germany went down and Strelo had trouble on the range, as so many did. They were 22nd at the first exchange. Vanessa Voigt climbed up to 17th. Strelo climbed to 10th, and then Voigt climbed all the way from 10th into 4th. So a great day for Voigt on the range. Well, let's hear now from your winners today.
Otepää treats you so well. How was this one for you today?
Today it's all about because of Caro. She was a machine shooting down the targets in this wind, and yeah, really delivering. So she's
job today, and finally you finished and closed the relay, finishing in first. How special was it, and how did you manage to do it today?
I wasn't happy. They told I have so much bad experience doing this one, but morning and we my mindset, which was really cool. And then Sturla also said he had now first time ever 3 wins in a row. So this is 4.
Yes.
So I felt the pressure, but I thought they could also say it was individual, but now he has a 4th.
You guys did an amazing job. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Well, apologies if the audio was breaking up a little bit for you there, but of course, quite right, Sturla Holm Lagride has attributed that win to Knotten, and absolutely 19 hits of 20 is an absolutely brilliant performance from the Norwegian. She stole the show today. Let's take a look now at the mixed relay, or the mixed World Cup relay score. That includes the single mix and the mixed, of course. Norway now at the top with 340 points. France in second, Sweden in third, Finland in fourth, Italy in fifth. Poland doing really well for themselves today. They are now in ninth and ahead of Germany, who are undoubtedly struggling. Greenland, unable to start today, find themselves down in 24th. Well, nice to hear the announcer proactively helping the search for a 4-year-old girl who is missing, but I'm sure they will find her. Now the intermediate standings after 19 competitions. This is in terms of the Nation Cup points. So France are in the lead for the women, and Sweden are in second place, really close, only 90 points separating them. Norway are in third, and of course half the points from this competition today go to the men and the women, so it's split. So whatever they achieve just by crossing the line today, half of those points will go in both gender directions. There is the disqualified team. Villain Jacquelin and Camille Benet mortified. And Jacquelin will be perplexed. In the heat of the moment, he used an extra round. And that is, according to rule 11.3.4, fired more rounds, more than the required rounds. That is a disqualifiable offense. A very unusual one. Very rarely do we see that. Well, the flower ceremony is just around the corner. We get to enjoy these lovely rolling landscapes here, where spring is very much felt by the Estonians and all who are here to compete and to spectate. The snow is clinging on, it has clung on, and now we have just one race remaining here at the World Cup level before we go on here for the World Championships next year. of course, the mixed relay this afternoon. And there is Otto. Watching over the action here is Otto, the yellow bear, a cheerful little mascot. His name actually comes from the town itself, Otepää. It actually literally means Otto's head. An Ott is a traditional nickname for a bear in Estonian folklore. So Otto therefore is the symbol for this winter sports town. France and Finland fans.
And it will lead IBU to plant one tree seedling for each athlete that attends the prize-giving ceremony during this season in any international IBU competition. So the amount will be more than 1,100 tree seedlings to be planted at IBU's home mountain, located right behind the IBU headquarters.
Well, the first ever World Cup here. Sebastian Samuelsson trying to nab the first position there.
Single mixed relay competition. Awards are presented by IBU Executive Board Member Mr. Franz Steidler. Chief of Competition Committee, Mr. Hillar Sakna. Third place, Team Finland, Suomi, Tero Seppälä and Suvi Minkinen.
Suvi Minkinen and Tero Seppälä with third place today. It wasn't always going so well for them throughout the course of the race. Their comeback story was slow but consistent. They were as low as 18th, climbing to 9th, climbing to 5th, and then climbing to 3rd at each exchange.
Second place, Team Sweden, Sebastian Samuelsson and Hanna Öberg.
Well, they've been working together, training together for a very long time now. Over 3 Olympic cycles, Pyeongchang, Beijing, Italy, Milano Cortina, and Antolz. They know each other well, and they make a formidable duo in this race. But an expensive pair to put forward, of course. Now Sweden having to fill those spots for the mixed relay.
And first place, Team Norway, Sturla Holmlageryd and Caroline Knoppen.
Sturla Holmlageryd and Caroline Knoppen for Norway. That will be now 4 wins in a row, including the relays for Sturla. And a testament to Knotten's resilience despite the win today. I hope they have got extra luggage booked for all these
And once more, let's give a
lovely
big round of
gifts.
applause to our winners. Norway, Sturla Holmlageryd and Caroline Knoppen. Sweden, Sebastian Samuelsson
Well, Norway take the win, Sweden with second, and Finland with third in the single mixed relay. Do join us this afternoon. I've been Scott Dixon with the pleasure of taking this race through with you, and the mixed relay starts at 2:40.
Lätlastel on ju lihtne, pane siis lõppu.
Kuidas on setu keeles laskesuusatamine?
Oi, see on raske küsimus.